Good morning, radio listeners. This is 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. In case you just woke up, just tuned in, welcome to the Morning Buzz, Monday edition. Beautiful, rainy, weather,
Yay.
cruddy, fun times edition. My name's Ryan Trick. Joined with me today, as always, is my wonderful co-host.
Amanda Marino.
And in our virtual studio, we have...
Kyle Pepitone.
And joining us will also be our newscaster, Ryan White. And on the back end, sportscaster. I'm still waking up.
Don't be giving my job away.
It's
Yeah, you're giving Kyle's
never,
job.
Kyle. Never. And of course, on the back end, we have Lauren Small, making sure that we're not spouting all kinds of hoopla, checking our facts, etc.
That's a new one.
That's a new one. Anyways, it's gonna be a good day today. We got a couple fun stories. We're gonna be talking about all kinds of spooky news. As per usual.
I feel like that's just gonna be your line for October. It's just always gonna be
That's
spooky
like the line
news.
for 2020.
No, I know, but like October just fits so
Oh,
well
yeah.
because it's spooky season.
Yeah,
so-
no, every time I say spooky too, it's like when you say spooky standing up, I feel like you got to get into like a position.
Except
Like
nobody
you got to
sees-
like go down a little bit, like crouch a little.
Except nobody can
Spooky.
see you except anybody that's watching on YouTube or Facebook or any of that stuff.
Exactly.
And Kyle's just got to laugh for the day. I think we just started Kyle's day.
Yeah, Kyle's.
I've been up for about 3 hours at this point.
Were you
a-
prepping for the show, Kyle? You're up there.
And that and doing some work.
definitely.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, but we got fun. We got some spooky news coming up today. Some other holiday themed news. If you heard about the Santa thing, we'll be diving way into that.
Hey
I'm
guys,
gonna.
it's Santa season now.
It's apparently it's Santa season.
I mean, isn't it only like 9 Mondays till
I
Christmas?
don't
anyways?
even count. I don't want to hear it. We're also gonna be talking about Disneyland and what's going on with them, and then some fun spooky holiday Halloween things. Do you know what a candy pulta is, Amanda?
No.
Well, you're gonna find out later if you stay tuned, which I sure hope you do because you're helping me run the show. That said,
I'm just gonna bolt now.
While Amanda runs for the door, Kyle, he's got our newscast. Kyle, tell me what's going on in the world.
So, in national news, according to AP News, on Sunday, the Senate voted to advance Amy Coney Barrett to the position of Supreme Court Justice. Just a week before the actual presidential election of 2020, the Senate confirmation is said to come out on Monday evening, so later tonight. Barrett would be the third appointed justice under the Trump administration. In New Jersey, NJ.com reports that on Sunday, again, there were 1,140 new COVID cases in the state alone, including 4 additional deaths. On Saturday, NJ saw its highest single-day increase in cases since May, with 1,994 cases. 1,900. Yeah, I said that. Okay. In last week, NJ totaled about 8,745 cases in total over the span of that week. And as of Saturday, Governor Phil Murphy and his wife, Tammy Murphy, have tested negative for the coronavirus after 2 senior staffers have tested positive for it. And in good news, from the Good News Network, a study of about 2,000 adults revealed that over 33% of surveyees have developed new healthy habits during the lockdowns. In addition, the survey also showed that 65% of people feel like their daily well-being has improved. The survey conducted by Yakult, a Japanese probiotic company, found that 80% of people intend to stick with their new routines going forward. And as for weather, well, let's take a look.
Kyle
It is
looks
currently
out his
57
window.
degrees out with a high of 63 and a low of 54. Mostly cloudy throughout the day, a 10% chance of rain, and a sunset at 6:01 p.m. Back to you, Ryan.
For anyone that is not watching
Nice
on Facebook
visual
Live or
joke
YouTube,
for an audio platform.
Kyle just got up
I love
and went
it.
to his window and did the
It did the
forecast
weather.
at the window. That was epic, Kyle.
I love it.
What a
Thank you.
change. I love it.
I guess for Montclair, it's about the same.
I was gonna say,
Sure,
let me
look-
look out my
Yeah,
imaginary
let's
window
look
right
out
here.
our window in the studio with no windows. Here in Montclair, it's about 48 degrees.
And
Today
there's
we're
probably
gonna
a
have a
chance
high
it's
of-
already raining.
Yeah, there's a 20% chance it is currently raining outside. According to my hair, yeah, no, this is a little damp. Today we're gonna have a high of 59 and a low of 52 degrees, and tomorrow looking like nothing but clouds with a 10% chance of rain, high of 59 and low 46. Kyle, I gotta say that Good News Network thing, sadly, I am not one of the 2,000 adults that that was surveyed. If I was, I would say I have not developed healthy habits over quarantine.
I don't think I would even fit into the adult category.
Yeah, no, sadly I'm out here gaining weight rather than losing it, which is sad. I'll say I'm getting ready for winter, like a chipmunk or a bear or something. That's my excuse. Anyways, before I get too weird with it, we're gonna throw it over to our sportscaster, Ryan White's in our virtual studio. Ryan, tell us what's going on in the world of sports.
Good morning, guys, and good morning, listeners. And we have a lot. The sports world had a long drought, but as of recent, the level of play and entertainment has been unbelievable. MLB World Series is among us. The NFL is approaching midseason, and the NBA and NHL just finished their season's playoffs in bubbles. The Los Angeles Dodgers and Tampa Bay Rays have been a part of a highly competitive and entertaining World Series. Game 4 featured one of the wildest endings of all time. On the last play of the game, Los Angeles committed 2 fielding errors, allowing Tampa to score 2 runs and to get the walk-off win, tying the series at 2 apiece. The Dodgers took a 3 series lead by winning 4-2 last night. Game 6 is Tuesday. On Saturday night, Khabib Nurmagomedov improved 29-0 by forcing a submission in the second round versus Justin Gaethje. After the fight, Khabib surprisingly retired and acknowledged that his father's passing is the reason why. Switch over to the NFL. On Thursday night, the New York Football Giants were leading 21-10 against the Philadelphia Eagles with about 6 minutes to go. Philadelphia was able to pull off a comeback victory, winning 22-21. Giants fans were devastated to see their team collapse. Staying in New York, the Jets lost once again to the Buffalo Bills following the 0-7. Pittsburgh defeated Tennessee and is now the only remaining undefeated team in the NFL. Tom Brady and the Bucs improved to 5-2 after a convincing win against a good Las Vegas team. On Sunday Night Football, the Arizona Cardinals defeated the Seattle Seahawks with a game-winning field goal as time expired in overtime. Looking ahead to tonight, the Chicago Bears travel to Los Angeles to play the Rams in what is expected to be a highly competitive game. That's all for sports for now. Stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Ryan, for the Sportscast. I always like having you sports guys come on because, as many of our listeners probably know, I know absolutely nothing
A
about
mood
sports.
for me too.
I
Number
think
3.
there are large, buff guys who kick a puck through a field goal and score 4 points, something along those lines. I'm more of an esports guy. So I know that the Overwatch League wrapped up, not recently, but relatively recently. And my San Francisco Shock won, in case anybody cared. Go Shocks. Nobody cares. Amanda's giving me a death glare and slowly shaking her head no.
I mean, I don't follow esports, but I'm a bit interested.
We'll have a whole full-blown conversation about it later, Kyle, because I would rather Amanda not start throwing large objects at me from across the room. That said, once again, Ryan, thank you very much for your Sportscast. We're going to be moving into our first story for the day. So, according to AP News, apparently the early vote total exceeded that of 2016, and the GOP chips at the Democrats' advantage. Kyle, I'm going to have you take this one.
All right. Well, as you said, Ryan, the early voting has exceeded in numbers as of since the 2016 election, and that could be probably a bit contributed to what's going on currently in the world, since a lot of states, I know New Jersey has almost completely ruled out in-person voting, correct? Or to an extent.
A lot of places have,
Yeah.
I believe.
It's
Not as much as other states.
Right, yeah.
it's what was I gonna say? It's they didn't rule it out completely. It's if you're in person, if you have a disability or something, you could vote in person, but they
Right.
really truly like to have you do the ballot box drop off or something like that,
Right,
or
yeah.
mail-in voting and things like that.
Right. So currently 5.86 million early election ballots have been casted as of Sunday. And Democrats earn a current lead, but the Republicans aren't too far behind. Last night, the Democratic Party had a lead over the Republican Party of 51 to 31%. However, AP News says, and quote, the early vote totals reported by state and local election officials and tracked by the AP are an imperfect indicator of which party may be leading. The data only shows party registration, not which candidate voters supported. So what that means is basically it only can tell you what party these people are registered at. So it'll say a Democrat has voted, but it won't say a Democrat has voted Democrat or a Republican has voted Republican. It could go either way according to the quote. So just because the Democratic Party are in the lead 51 to 31%, it doesn't mean they all voted for their candidate.
That's pretty interesting too, because if you also think about it, you know, it says has a lead of over Republicans 51% to 31%. That's also, you know, obviously cutting out everybody who's independent who's voted, whether or not they voted, you know, for independent parties or not. I'm pretty sure I'm registered as independent and I voted. Folded up my ballot into a little paper airplane and flew it to the White House. You know?
Right, because even if you add up the totals, that's not 100%. It's only like 82.
Yeah, exactly. It's, what is that? 82%.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's shout out to all the independents out there.
Ryan, you do realize though that like you're not mailing it to the White House, right?
Wait, is that not how that works?
That's not how it works.
Well, I might need to go run after my ballot then after the show, because I think it's on its way there, flying its little paper airplane self. I am, of course, kidding.
Did you have like a carrier pigeon delivery?
No. I just make really solid paper airplanes.
Yeah, I tried that. Mine couldn't get out of my front driveway.
So you decided to mail or drop off instead.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, I do sincerely hope that everybody has voted this election. A little PSA from yours truly. Please get out there and do your country a good service and vote. It's very important, especially at this time. Obviously, I'm not gonna, you know, hash it too much because you probably hear it all the time from celebrities, celebrities and stuff. And you don't need to hear it from me. But you know, it is. If you keep up with the news in any way, or if you've literally ever listened to the Morning Buzz in the past, I don't know, 2 years, you will know that this election is very important. And we'll be talking more about that, why it's so important for various reasons here in a moment too. But Amanda, what you had to say something.
I didn't have anything to say. I actually just wanted to say, as we were moving away from this story, and as we didn't mention it at the start of the show, I wanted to talk about WMSC for a second.
Oh, you're so right. We got some wicked awesome news. Amanda, how much? 2,000? So WMSC is doing a scholarship fund right now.
In case you haven't heard about it already on the Morning Buzz.
Exactly. We've been promoting the heck out of it. And, you know, sorry if you're sick of hearing about it, but you know what? We're going to keep promoting it because not only did we reach our goal, no. Not only are we that awesome, and are you listeners out there that awesome, but we blew past our goal by like
our second
goal by like what, $500 or something. So right now we're still raising money. If we raise enough money, we can actually extend the scholarship to another student.
So right now we are currently running to the fundraiser ends on October 31st, which is this Saturday. So
basically the I guess the short of it, the scholarship is really kind of especially close to me. I actually received the scholarship last year. And I'm obviously not like eligible this year because I'm graduating, but the scholarship kind of goes out to it seeks to acknowledge and especially reward the super hard work that that people put into the station.
Because we've said it multiple times, but we'll say it again that like nobody here gets paid that's like on the morning buzz or doing any other
Nobody in the
programming and stuff.
SMT
No,
gets
yeah, we have a
paid.
whole team of 370 people we realize that work at the station.
Is it that many?
That's what Annabella told me. Our general manager Annabella told me. At the least, it's around 350 people
It's a
that
lot
are
of people.
involved in the station. Obviously, there's about 20 SMT members, which are our student management team. And then we have just about over 350 general members, which is insanity. But we're all here just because we like doing it. We like being on radio. We love learning about broadcasting. We love learning about the news. And we love learning about all this other stuff that could help us, whether we continue in a path of radio or continue just in a path of communication and media or just any of that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're here because we love it. And yeah, if you're interested to find out about more about about WMSC in general or about the fund, we can go to WMSC
WMSCradio.com and also the
or
fundraiser.
socials.
Yeah, the fundraiser it's been all over our socials at WMSC Radio on Twitter. Or is it just at WMSC? I believe it's at WMSC on Twitter.
Yeah.
Also all over our other socials. I know I personally posted a tweet about it. I'll probably make another tweet coming up here in a day or so at Ryan the Trick on Twitter. I don't know. Amanda, have you tweeted?
Did I tweet?
Did you
about
do
it?
a Twitter?
I might have retweeted it. I don't know.
Amanda
not sure.
might have done a Twitter at @amarino_123.
Yeah, but if you're interested
But
in
seriously,
learning more about it or donating or helping out, like it's all on our socials and things like that.
And it you know, like we said, it's very
It goes to
near
helping
and
us
dear
continue
kinda
our
thing
like
for us.
leadership training, helps people continue get a scholarship if they're doing really great work here at the station and things like that. So
Yeah. So
So.
shout out to all you other, I don't know if any of the other SMT are awake at this point,
none
but
of
if
them are
anybody else
awake.
is listening, shout out to you guys and anybody else who's a part of college radio, because college radio has also been hit really hard by this pandemic. We were lucky enough to be one of the like handful of college stations
that actually stayed on air.
to actually stay on air and power through. So shout out not just to us, but to all the college radio people out there. That said, we're gonna dive headfirst into what? Into a pile of snow? Mayhaps. That was a weird segue.
I think what's funny
Yeah.
about this story is I walked into the studio today and I told Ryan about this and he's like, "What?"
I was floored. I was absolutely baffled.
In case you hadn't heard over the weekend, the Trump administration officially planned to give Santa Claus performers early access to the COVID-19 vaccine. So what that means, or as a quote from Rolling Stone magazine, "You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus has early vaccine.
Has early access.
COVID-19 vaccine." I'm sorry, I couldn't even get through that without laughing. Basically, it was reported over the weekend that one of Trump's assistant secretaries at the White House, if he had his way, in perhaps one of the strangest plans to ever come out of the White House, they proposed a $250 million campaign that would give Santa Claus performers access to the coronavirus vaccine before anybody else. And the idea would be that they could also, because they're getting the vaccine first, they're going to be promoting it to the boys and girls that come and sit on Santa's lap or meet the performers at any time during the holiday season. And they could promote the vaccine and why it's important to do a vaccine.
I would just like to point out before we get any further into this.
The opinions.
Oh well, yeah. Well, let me thank you, Amanda. We'll throw that one out there. The opinions reflected of the hosts are just that. They are opinions of the hosts and do not reflect that of the station. That said, when I was looking up this story, the most depressing part of this story to me, you know, I've talked about on the Buzz before when we talk about everybody's favorite. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. When we talk about, let me rephrase. When we talk about Donald Trump, I was gonna say everyone's favorite orange, but I decided not to. When we talk about Donald Trump, the conversation normally leads me to saying, you know, as the president of the United States, you should represent our country. You know, you are effectively the face and the head of our country.
First family. I said they're the first family, so it's
Yeah,
the first,
exactly.
yeah.
So the problem I have with this is when I looked up this story, the BBC came up and it says this is on bbc.com. It's like it's like one of the top stories. It says COVID-19, US pulls a plan to give early vaccine to Santa Claus. US, we're now generalized as the country who loves Santa so much that apparently we're giving him this leveled me when I read this. I was floored that we are being advertised around the world as like,
This
yo,
like
this
just makes me
pandemic,
think of like
this pandemic,
it's like, hey,
Santa Claus has been
while
hit the
we're
hardest. No.
while we're giving Santa Claus, let's give like, you know, the Easter Bunny and all
Yeah,
those other
exactly.
characters.
Exactly. Let's give Easter Bunny. Let's give Jack Skellington. Let's
Do
give
you meet Jack Skellington at the mall?
Hanukkah Harry. That's the thing, I think. Hanukkah Harry. Probably not. I might get angry tweeted later for that one at Ryan the Trick. Boom, socials. Yeah, no, this levels me.
All right, Kyle, before we progress, what are your thoughts? Santa Claus vaccine, yes or no?
Well,
First thought.
I mean, if he is being like, if they are doing the mall Santas this year as normal, then yes, one side of that should like you don't want the Santas to transmit it to the children and vice versa. So in a sense, it makes sense, but there's also, you know, like hospital care workers and
Yeah,
like
that's what
probably
I
a
just
long list of people.
Like, why aren't the healthcare workers getting it first? Why aren't they always the first people to get it first?
Yeah. Not only that, in addition to providing Santa Claus performers with the vaccine, apparently the plan included running a series of PSAs featuring actors and influencers to get the vaccine, to believe that the vaccine is safe. And the goal was to defeat despair and inspire hope with ads online, on TV, podcasts, even us at the radio. Oh boy.
See, okay, and here's the other thing. I'm cool with this. If in the case, you know, we know this is trusted vaccine too.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing.
There's a difference between a PSA and propaganda. Yes, I just said that on air and I am totally going to get like fired for it.
No, but I mean more, there is still the idea of there could be an FDA approved vaccine that like healthcare workers are advising you to take and advising just the overall public that it's safe. But then there's also something that says, oh, the government's like the people in the White House have said, yeah, cool, let's do that. Like, you know what I mean? So
It's
Well, here's my thing. From what I've heard, I didn't think there was a vaccine that close to being ready that you could give it.
what are you
to the
talking about?
Senate.
It's weeks away, Kyle.
oh my, yeah, it's been weeks away for months now, Kyle.
Wait, this pandemic's gonna be over by Easter. That's what they said.
But Donald Trump told me like a month ago that the pandemic was going to be over by like tomorrow, right?
We're rounding the corner.
Wow, I need to tone it back. I apologize for all.
The opinions of the host.
Yeah, the opinion. We'll say it again. The opinions of the host reflect that of the host, not that of the station. Maybe today's the day I get angry tweeted. Anyway, I've been waiting for it. No, it's certainly. So here's my problem with this story.
Go for
right.
it.
So, I already told you my main problem. My main problem is the fact that because of this, we are currently being advertised to the rest of the world as the country who is giving the vaccine.
Everybody
to
else
Santa
hates
Claus.
us. What are you talking about? This has been a common thing for a little bit now.
Oh, this is a total sidebar, but I so wish I could find the article on this. But over the weekend I woke up and went downstairs and my dad had the news on, and there was like some funny like news thing where it was like there was a poll of most hated states in the United States, and New Jersey's #1, baby. We're the
Really?
most hated state in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah,
I found that shocking. I
I'm
feel like,
all for
like I
it.
understand being maybe in the
Finally,
top
we've done
10.
something right.
Nah, we're #1. I'm all for it. So
Kyle,
anyways,
yes.
Kyle knows what's up. So, but no, so anyway, yeah, we're like the most hated. So I have friends in other countries too. I have friends in Canada. I have friends in Europe, and I was talking, and I talked to them on Discord. We all like play video games together and hang out and play D&D and stuff. So we're a bunch of nerds. But
Hey, you said
literally
it.
the other day, I was talking to my friend, and she was like, dude, the US is like whack right now, isn't it? And I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. Like literally the whole world.
I got my bags packed. I'm going to Canada.
So that's my first problem with the story, is the fact that like we're currently being advertised to the world as the country who's giving the vaccine to Santa first and foremost. Secondly,
Because instead we
Yeah.
we care about Santa and
yeah,
not
and
the healthcare workers
not
that are
the healthcare
exposed
workers,
to the virus 24/7.
not the people who have been, working, 20 plus hour shifts, at the hospital dealing with this pandemic.
But no,
God
and I,
forbid, Mr. Trump, you give the vaccine to the people who, I don't know, maybe saved your life.
I will say this too first, because I'm thinking about what Kyle said. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot lately that people are kind of just returning to normal and have decided that they will continue with their lives even with this virus going on, like normal, like nothing, like whatever. And they're like upset that like Halloween is being treated differently, and they know they're still going to gather for Christmas and they're still going to do all these other things. Which is the idea, is if people are going to still proceed with normal, with taking their kids to see Santa at the mall and things like that,
Yeah.
which that's obviously going to be the mall's decision and going to be the decision of people that work at the mall. But also, who knows? People might just do it to like make some money, especially if any businesses have been suffering.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
no.
So
a
I don't
lot
know.
of a lot of malls. I went to Bridgewater Mall just this weekend with my dad. We went to like do some outdoor dining right outside the mall, but we decided to do like a little walk through the mall. Like a lot of stores inside malls
Are
have
gone.
closed, have gone. I mean, there were stores that I walked past and I was like, it blew me away, because I was like, that's been there for 10 years and it's gone.
Mhm.
So I would not be surprised if, the whole mall Santa thing like really kind of blew up. And don't get me wrong, I would like to clarify something, now that I think about it. I'm fine with this plan. I actually think overall this is a fine plan. This is a fine idea, having like mall Santas and like known people advertise the vaccine.
Well,
So
yeah,
my
I was gonna say.
biggest problem with it though is, one, don't give them priority. Give the like
No, yeah. Like, I
healthcare
guess, like,
workers
if
priority.
you're looking at it at a point of view, the idea that you want kids to get a vaccine and that you want them to know it's going to be safe, like I think that's a great idea. But also, again, is this a safe vaccine?
Yeah.
Number
yeah,
two,
yeah.
like, no, because like think about it, in the past, I know it's always like up for debate about like the flu shot and things like that, but the flu shot has existed every year since for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
So like I don't know the exact year, but it's existed for a long time.
For
So
as far as I can remember. So probably almost 20 years, I'd say.
I think even longer than
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
I'm
way
making
longer.
the point. Basically, for our whole lifetimes, we've most likely gone to the doctor and they've offered the idea of a flu shot. So if we're looking at like that kind of thing, or any other vaccine you would take, nobody's ever endorsed it that way. Like you never went to a Santa before and they were like, make sure you get your flu shot this year. You know what I mean? And so like that, there's that point too. Like you're going to be, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I get it. It's like, I mean, obviously, so this is something that needs to be promoted. Obviously, like the flu is the flu. Like, it's been around forever. So I do understand like their reasoning for doing it. Apparently, vaccination against influenza began in the 1930s. That's nuts.
And you were like, it's only lasted 20 years.
Well, no, I'm saying as long as I can remember, so more than 20 years at least.
But I guess at the end of the day, so like if you do look at the idea of, if their parents bring their kids to see Santa and they're like, go get a vaccine, blah 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 blah. They're like, oh, like tell my mom, dad, take me to the doctor. I'm gonna get, you know what I mean, just in case they might live in a house that maybe doesn't want to or anything like that. Maybe it's bringing another influence on them. And I don't know. It could work, and I think it's an idea, but I also at the end of the day, no matter what, I think healthcare workers should be always the priority, and especially right now that because they are facing this 24/7. Obviously, we wear masks and stuff, go to the grocery store, we go do anything else, but because most likely the chance of someone actually being there, it's lower than if you're in the hospital and you're exposed to them 24/7.
You know what I find really funny, and I cannot wait to get absolutely destroyed when I say this.
Oh no, you're just on a roll today.
I'm on
You're just-
a roll. Honestly, I'm not having it anymore. I feel like a lot of listeners are with me. I'm so tired of this virus. And I'm so tired about reporting on it. And the part that really like
we could write a book on
drives
this.
me nuts about this is he is planning on doing like these PSAs and
Mhm.
this whole ad campaign on like get vaccinated. PSA is awesome. This is coming from the same guy who like I don't know never bothered with PSAs to wear a mask. You know, or never wore a mask like himself in his rallies, or
Mhm,
never
mhm.
like wanted to do
Hey,
social
you're-
distancing guidelines.
You're preaching to the
This-
choir over
this is
here.
this is coming from the same guy who is probably, I would say, psychologically one of the reasons cases are still prominent. I would argue personally. I would
Well, we're
argue
seeing
in
too.
the U.S.
There's an increase too. That we're just going up. This is considered the third peak.
Yep. So, anyways,
So yeah.
that's just me. I just find that a little ironic. We're gonna move away from this.
Kyle, do you have any other final thoughts before we wrap up on this?
Not really, but like I gotta say, like there is like if you look at like other countries, a lot of other countries have like really brought this down and stuff. I think one of the biggest things was like haven't really like we were good the first few months, but as we got later in the year, almost everyone in the US were starting to get into bigger and bigger crowds, like regardless of what it was for, but there was still a lot of mass gathering going on come like I don't know, like mid-June and onward. Like that's
I know.
Yeah.
we've just completely thrown out the lockdown portion. We're still in that stay safe kind of area. Like we're still taking somewhat precautions, but the mass gathering has just become the norm again.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
The only plus I could say about like with all the COVID cases rising and stuff is, and I mean obviously it's still horrible that the cases are rising. The only positive I'm seeing is that there's less deaths from it, which is obviously like I mean it's horrible at all that we're facing any deaths from it or that we've reached the numbers we have. But I'm gonna say because we've now grown and we've learned a little more about this about not the vaccine. Oh my goodness.
about the virus.
About the virus as a
Yeah.
whole, we're like learning what treatments are a little better to help somebody if they're like really worse or blah 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 blah. Like I'm hearing that from the hospitals that like it's like 70, I want to say like 70 to 80% like is now like people are like doing fine in the hospitals. Like you know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
is good. Which is good. Obviously we're not there yet, and obviously that's going to come with medication and vaccines and things like that. But
Yeah.
it's get slightly better, but not
all
extremely
I'm
better.
gonna say as final thoughts is, you know, like I said, I think this is a fantastic idea. I think it's poorly worded. I think it's gonna be
poorly executed.
Yeah, I think it's poorly worded. I think it's poorly planned. I think it's gonna be poorly executed. And the part, all in all, that really annoys me is, Mr. Trump, remember, Band-Aids are not the solution. Making sure you don't get hurt in the first place is the solution. That said, we're gonna move on.
Wow. Good end to that.
So Disneyland, moving on to more fun COVID things. So
My favorite place, Disney.
where magic lives, as well as the COVID virus.
Yikes.
was that a big yikes?
Well,
A little bit.
A little bit.
all of
You're
it.
listening to hold on. Well, for those of you who just woke up or just tuned in, my name's Ryan Trick. I'm the one who makes all the bad jokes. Here to level me out
and
is
I'm
my co-host,
I was gonna say I'm
Amanda
Amanda Marino, leveling.
and joined in our virtual studio is, of course,
Oh, hi, me, Kyle Pepitone.
Kyle Pepitone, vibing with the eyes of corn. In
Yeah, one
background.
more week and then it's gone.
Yeah,
I need
one
a new
more-
We gotta
picture
create
for
something for
Thanksgiving.
the month of November.
Yeah.
exactly.
But
so.
Disney, my favorite thing to talk about.
Disney.
Disney. Hey Kyle,
Yes.
you like Disney?
Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I happen to be a really big Disney fanatic, but obviously when the virus shut Disney and all their parks down and all that stuff, I was relieved because obviously it's not really a place I think I'd want to go in the middle of a global pandemic, but that's
Yeah.
just me, you know. Disney World opened back up in July and claiming they haven't actually had any outbreaks and such, which is, again, it's one of those things where you don't really know because technically if people go on vacation there and then they come home and then like they just spread it to their home state or whatever, but that's another discussion for another day. But we're not talking about Disney World right now. Disneyland in California still hasn't reopened yet. So Disney World has been open since July, but the California governor, Gavin Newsom, actually hasn't allowed Disneyland to be open yet. So they actually finally set out guidelines the other day for Disneyland and other California theme parks to reopen. So this is from the New York Times, by the way. They said for the big parts, it could be a long road. Their counties must reach the least restrictive yellow tier for the state's 4-tier COVID-19 economic reopening plan. So if you don't live in California, that means in terms of coronavirus cases, Orange County, home to Disneyland, is currently in the red or second tier. And Los Angeles County, Universal Studios location, is the most restrictive, still in the purple tier, which means they're still at the lowest marks and they cannot reopen until there is fewer than 1 case a day per 100,000 residents and had a testing positivity rate of less than 2%. So a lot of people are really nervous right now. And I've actually seen people protesting outside the Disneyland parks because their theme parks are not open yet. And obviously we've been seeing in the news too now, 28,000 employees have been laid off from Disney, which obviously that's very controversial too, because people are pinning it on like the heads of the parks and stuff and the chairs and saying like, look, like you're making a salary that could have saved all of these people's jobs, which is a thing for sure. And we're also seeing it's sad because a lot of these cast members, even before this, weren't making enough to survive. And now they're not, they were furloughed or they got laid off from their jobs. And it's not a great time. We've seen things like the Disney, the cast member pantry open up, at least in Florida, which is people accepting donations for food and such to help these cast members actually live, which is really sad because, like I said, before this, people were living in their cars because they didn't have enough money to survive because of Disney's, like, their wages. So now to think that they were furloughed or they don't even have a job now because of this, it's nuts. And people really don't know what the state of Disneyland will be because they are still closed and don't know when they will actually reopen, like, for real. So I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add on that and things? Like, I don't, obviously I just rambled a little bit, but.
Well, my thing is like, yes, obviously there's a global pandemic going on and closing the parks like at the start of this was probably a good idea. But if you like actually think about it, how much cleaner is Disney at any other time?
So actually, it's actually really funny that you mentioned that. The Disney parks, or I don't know about specifically the parks, but I know everybody was worried, you know, like how the big thing, how this started was with like cruises and such. Like people were saying like cruises were really bad because we saw like boats out at sea and they were quarantining the boats because people were sick. They actually they were talking about how the conditions of said cruise ships, because they have to reach a certain like level of safety with health before this even. Disney ships were always the cleanest, actually. They did like a survey and a poll out of all of the cruise ships. They were always the top to bottom. They were always the cleanest than any other company. So that was an interesting thing. So you wonder about obviously like the parks too. There's also a level of you can't maintain it. I've been doing my research on it. I've been seeing that they've only cleaning seats every 2 hours, which doesn't do anything if you had somebody that had it right before you. And so I don't know. I mean, and it's weird. People are wearing masks when you see pictures and videos, but other times they're not. And it's like, I don't know. I really don't. I think I said to my mom the other day, I said, if I lived in a place like Disney, like if I lived like in Florida that was super close, I might go, but I'm not going to go. I wouldn't go if I was like traveling from where I live now, New Jersey, where I would have to stay in a hotel and I would have to do it. If I was like a day trip for me, like going to Six Flags or something, I might go. I might try it out. But because then I can also say, you know, I'm going to leave because I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
But like if I was like traveling, like
You almost
17
feel
hours
obligated to
more.
stay there.
I'm not gonna like just be like, all right, I'm gonna leave. Bye. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. And I do see that like places like Florida have been trying to reach their general area around them. They've been doing a lot more discounts for people that live in Florida and stuff, because a lot of people don't realize, but 45% of Disney's money
Income.
that they
yeah,
make comes from the theme parks.
right.
45%. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's almost
Disney-
half of their money is coming from just the theme parks being open. So they weren't making a lot when all of them were closed.
Yeah,
Right.
Disney, like, as huge as they are, and we all, I think everybody who knows anything about media understands Disney is like
The king of them all.
is basically the king of all media. So the fact that they were literally lost or were losing throughout the pandemic 40%, despite like everything else, all their
Well, you also
other
have to
like
realize,
media
too, so, like,
outlets,
the-
40% of their
For a
total
while
income.
during the quarantine, the only way they were making money is probably through their stores and through their streaming service.
Yeah.
And that was like about it, because movies weren't in production, movies weren't coming out in theaters and things like that. They couldn't continue doing production
So
for
they
other
started. So
programming.
they had to release stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But then you run out of backlog content eventually. Which we did see like across all streaming platforms. We saw a huge slowdown in like the amount of stuff that was being released.
But going back to this whole California thing, like, because obviously that was the original
Yeah.
point of us talking about this. Like, Ryan, what are your like
I'm
thoughts on this? I need to find a picture too of them like protesting, because that actually got me really annoyed.
yeah, it blows my mind that they're so like set on it reopening. I think something a lot of people forget is like, listen, we are, and I hate to say that this is something people forget, but it's true. Like, you gotta understand, we are still in a pandemic, and it's not permanent. I think something a lot of people are struggling with is this feels like it's going to last forever, but I cannot emphasize enough, it's not going to last forever. It's only going to last as long as we let it. Like, as if people are staying safe, people are wearing masks, social distancing, being smart, and not doing things like going and protesting Disney, and not going to like
It's sad
events
because
that don't have social
I
distancing.
can't find the pictures, but it's sad because they're protesting because they just want to get back in the theme park. Not
Yeah, it's
protesting
like-
because they want like their jobs back. It's literally people that
They
just want
just
to
wanna
get
go back.
inside.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
that's-
listen, that's part of normal life that we're gonna have back eventually. You just gotta wait. Just be patient.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I can understand like workers protesting because
Oh yeah,
they're kind
they're
of
just
out of
people.
a
and
job.
that's the thing too. Like
Yeah.
they because a lot of people are complaining. There's petitions going around from the governor that's saying, like, can we like open, like obviously we're suffering here. It's like, think about it like Orlando. If you're looking at Orlando, a lot of people, their whole economy is Disney. Like, so that's like, if you're either working in the parks or you have a restaurant or a store that's so close to the parks that like you're getting tourism and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's destroying an economy in a certain county. And that's the same thing for California as well. And there's a struggle. And I get that too, but I also get that, like, I don't know.
It's like, I understand, wanting to save the economy, but also a lot of these people are just protesting because
They just want to go on a ride.
they just want to go back. They're like, I want to see Mickey, and or like, let me
And I
in.
feel for the 28,000 cast members that had to be let go, because it's really a bummer. I feel
that's
bad
rough.
because, especially when, like I said, the executives are making so much money that they couldn't just take a pay cut to
Yeah.
just allow these until like they're back and they're in shape,
Yeah, which is a whole like bigger issue.
That's a
too,
bigger issue
that
for
will-
most
that-
media companies. But anyways,
But that's something for another day.
of course.
As always, you're listening to the Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. I'm Ryan Trick, joined by Amanda Marino and Kyle Pepitone. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the New Jersey Army National Guard. Aired by the New Jersey Broadcasters Association and this station.
You want to get involved? You like being part of a team? Well, WMSC wants you. Hello. Whether you enjoy music, editing, sports, or news, WMSC Radio has much to offer.
Production, engineering, music, and more. Being a part of the teams, you can.
Meet new people, make new friends. Oh, yeah?
Express your creativity. Become an apprentice DJ. And in the future, host your very own radio show.
Meetings are held in the School of Communications and Media, room 1011, Wednesdays at 3:30 p.m.
Sign up today and be a part of the experience. WMSC wants you.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Hi, my name is Biff, and I'm a dinosaur. You may know me from the movies Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 3, and a dental ad I did in the late 70s. Many of you may not know the trouble that every year me and my dinosaur friends go through, from kids beating us up because we look strange and people not liking our costumes. Well, they're not costumes, they're our bodies. Please, this Halloween, be nice to others and respectful of all shapes and sizes. Thank you. Happy Halloween.
Just you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
That was a new PSA.
Hey,
I
Jay,
heard.
What was
Yeah.
that?
That was I gotta say one of a little peek behind the curtain. That PSA is labeled Halloween Dino PSA. It is like literally one of my favorite things.
I never heard that one before.
It is so incredible. Like the production team here at WMSC, and you can support them and all the other awesome work they do if you want to by checking out the WMSC Scholarship Fund we're raising right now. It's one way to support us at the station.
What a segue.
But no, they make some awesome stuff, and that one,
Yeah, they make all the PSAs
like the
and
features,
such, and the features and things like that.
Yeah, they don't
so.
make they make a lot of the PSAs or some of the PSAs. They don't make all of them, but they make like all the features. The production team just gets me. It reminds me of an episode of Rick and Morty. It really does. I love it. Anyways, in case you just woke up or just tuned in, welcome back. We are the Morning Buzz. As always, I'm your host for Monday's Ryan Trick, joined alongside
Amanda Marino, of course.
and in our virtual studio,
Kyle Pepitone.
and we got some more fun stuff for
Spooky
you.
news.
Super spooky news, Amanda.
Yeah.
Super spooky.
Wait, so I heard it. I think it's Halloween this Saturday.
Is it what?
Is that?
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Didn't
Amanda.
October start like last week?
Hey, no,
Halloween
hey, Kyle,
already started.
Kyle, I'm still in March, so I am literally still in March. So
I thought we just finished up with College Radio Day. What happened?
Yeah, exactly, man. Time flies. Yes.
time flies during COVID.
This yeah, tell me about it. So this Saturday, yes, is the spookiest day of the year, the peak of spooky season.
Is it right?
Halloween. Bum bum bum. Anyways,
This
yeah.
is
So
Halloween.
this is I wonder if I can play that. I'm gonna have to ask. So we got some spooky news for you. So as you may know from listening or just from I don't know existing in
Ryan loves Halloween.
like,
That's
oh yeah, no, I love Halloween. By far the best, in my personal opinion, by far the best holiday. Is it like a big scheme by all the candy companies. Who knows? I don't care
Well, isn't
because
that
I
the
get
same?
to dress
Isn't
up
that the
as
same thing for
like.
Valentine's Day too? It's the
Yeah,
same from all the
exactly.
card
It's,
companies.
everything's a conspiracy. Whatever, get over it. That's my 2 cents on the subject. That said,
If you want to angry tweet Ryan,
yeah, if you want to angry tweet me,
I just want someone to actually angry tweet you one day.
I'm wait.
I
If
might do
Annabella's
it.
listening, can like Annabella? Can you like angry tweet me? It'd make me feel good.
I'll angry tweet you, Ryan.
Amanda will angry tweet me.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. So, anyways,
Kyle, you could do it too. You could angry tweet. me.
yeah. Let's.
I got to make a Twitter first.
Fair
Make
enough.
a Twitter just to angry tweet Ryan.
The handle is just at I hate Ryan Train. All about it. That would be if in my career, if somebody ever made a Twitter like
That'd be a
just to
goal of
spite
yours.
me, it'd be the peak of my career. Anyways, so it's all about perspective. So we got a fun. We're kind of lightening up the show a little bit towards the end here. It is spooky season coming up, and with COVID, people have been wondering like, how do we do Halloween?
Yeah.
It's it's crazy. We live as all of the advertisements I ever listen to nowadays say, in these troubling times,
In these unprecedented
in these
times.
in these unprecedented times, buy a
We-
car on
we must,
whatever.
We must
It's
band
like, it's
together
weird.
to
we
work
we
through-
must band together to spookify the nation with Halloween. So spooky season has been kind of up in the air. People are like, how the heck do we do it? And I know last week we had a brief discussion on various the things various towns are doing for Halloween. I believe you can check that out on, I want to say nj.com. And they should have a list of like all the
Yeah, what
different
the
counties
town,
and
yeah.
towns if they've made any specific announcements about Halloween. And I believe most towns in New Jersey are on for Halloween. It's just about being safe. The
Yeah, it's you should
CDC
just really like know your neighborhood and stuff. If you feel it's safe, then that's up to you.
Yeah,
You
and
know
the
what I mean?
CDC has released like guidelines and tips, on how to stay safe. One very important thing I want to make sure people know is Halloween masks, like the costume masks. They are not CDC approved, so they do not protect you from spreading COVID-19. The CDC does recommend everybody find Halloween themed face masks. I know I have a tailor like right local in my town, and they actually are selling little Halloween themed face masks, and they even have like, and there's a way to support local business too if you have something like this in your town. They even have like, hey, come bring us like fabric and we'll make like an actual CDC approved like face mask out of it, that works. So that the CDC does recommend getting like a Halloween themed face mask and not wearing a themed like a actual face mask underneath a costume mask, because then like your breathing might be restricted after a long period of time. But that's just because you're literally wearing like a mask and then like in a
Mhm.
dome of like plastic or whatever. But that said, kind of moving on. Spooky season has been a little bit up in the air. Fun story: a Pennsylvania family has built a candy pult for safe trick or treating.
Candy, what you say?
A candy pult. I love this because it is a pun. On catapult. Do you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
And it's a catapult for
I got
can.
it.
It's a
Alright, yeah, I
candy
got it.
pult. You get it?
Yes, I got it.
So this Pennsylvania family unveiled their secret weapon for safe trick-or-treating amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, the one, the only, probably not the one and only, but I'm going to say it for dramatic effect, the one, the only candy pult. Vince Mack of York County said his family had a brainstorming session there to try and figure out what the heck they can do to safely distribute candy on Halloween. And he told WPMT TV, quote, "We thought we could try to come up with a creative way to throw candy at kids safely. With everything going on, everyone just needs to feel happy and find something to laugh at." So the family came up with the design of the candy pult to launch candy at trick-or-treaters. This is all according to UPI. If you're interested, if you're not driving right now and you're at home, feel free to look this up. Like I said, on UPI.
It's interesting because I know, Ryan, you were telling me that you really wanted to figure out a way to like
This is something I've been
Yeah.
struggling with too. Yeah. So it's interesting. We actually, on the Morning Buzz, I totally forget what day it is, but we reported on some guy built a little tube kind of like along the railing of his
Yeah, and then
steps
just it like yeah.
to safely distribute candy for trick-or-treaters, which I thought was awesome. I can't do that because I don't have steps leading up to my front door. And from the video, at least, it looks like these people don't have like very long steps leading up to their front door, so they wouldn't be able to do the same thing. So this is just a fun way to like, I mean, it's ridiculous. This thing is huge. It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
it's like an actual like catapult with like a bucket and everything.
That's
This is cool.
Yeah, I just watched the video. It fires some pretty, like it fires a fair distance.
It does. It clears it. It sends it. It's cool. I'm for it. I think this is clever. And I think this is fun. And I think that, it just goes to show you, like, seriously, one thing that we've been needing to see in this pandemic is like just creativity and people like finding fun, positive, entertaining things to do. And this is awesome.
I think next year they should design a treat budget. If anyone understands that.
Oh, Kyle, yes. It's a play on trebuchet, but for treats. A treat budget. Kyle Pepitone, you, sir, if I could, I don't know what I could promote you to, but if I could, I'd do it.
I actually, for any Facebook watchers right now or YouTube, I'm actually showing the video now. I'm trying to see. There we go. There is the little clip.
Yeah, at one point they put like a camera in it and launched the camera, and you saw it like spinning around.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there it is.
It gets everybody involved too, and that's super fun,
Yeah, definitely. I love that. If you are interested in seeing the little clip, like we said, it's on UPI. You can check us out on video on Facebook afterwards or on YouTube in the future. I just love that though.
No, yeah, I think
That's
like I
fun.
said, it's a good way to get everybody involved at Halloween and stuff, and especially when we don't know what's kind of, I don't know. So this unprecedented here, like I said,
In these unprecedented times. Am I the only one who's sick of hearing ads say in these unprecedented times?
I think it's just become part
Can
of
we
my
circle
like,
back
I
to
feel like there's
precedented times?
Let's well, the dictionary at the end of the year is gonna have all these added words: social distance, unprecedented times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I saw I can't take credit for that quote, by the way. That's can we circle back to precedented times? That's from this Instagram I follow, is place El Arroyo in Texas, this Mexican food place, and their signs are fantastic. They have very funny signs out in the front of their restaurant that they change like almost daily. So one of them said, "Can we circle back to precedented times?"
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
that'd be good.
It'd be pretty nice.
I mean, after the election, we'll be in precedented times, which
that was a really bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut up
but
now.
it's a great PSA to remind our listeners that you should probably go vote if you're listening to this live and not in like a couple months.
Yeah, that'd be really bad. It's like, oh wait, I had to vote.
I had to
was
vote.
sleeping
Yes.
through that whole month.
No, don't hibernate.
Yes, voting is very important. It's your civil duty.
Yes. So please, pretty please, the fate of the country. We are a democracy, so it is up to you to decide who wins. As funny as it is, and Annabella told us this, or told me this, I believe 2% of the vote each year goes to Mickey Mouse.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know about you guys.
I know a
but
percentage of the vote.
Harambe.
Harambe 2020. It's getting weird. You've been listening to the Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. In case you just woke up or just tuned in, you're too late. You missed the show. But it was a fun one today. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. You can tune in tomorrow for Philippe and Tara, that dynamic duo.
And if you're not around tomorrow, we're available all week, Monday through Friday,
8 to 9. And mayhaps we be having a spooky buzz, mayhaps, on Friday.
Well, you keep talking about this. We gotta work on the
I
spooky
do.
buzz. There may be a spooky buzz coming this Friday.
If you want to listen to us talk spooky news and see us maybe in spooky costumes, feel free to stay tuned there. But as always, like I said, I've been Ryan Trick.
I've been Amanda Marino.
And I've been Kyle Pepitone.
And this has been the Morning Buzz. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.